Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to discuss one more important problem related to linked list. So in this problem we have given the head of singly linked list, okay, and the two integers left and right, where left is less than or equal to right, and we have to reverse the nodes of the list from position left to position right. So here carefully note this point. We have given positions left and position right. Note the value of nodes, okay, and we have to return the reverse list. So here in example 1 you can see head is given as 1 2 3 4 5, and left is equal to 2 and right is equal to 4. So note this 2, this is a position 2, okay, and this is position 4. So okay, so we have to reverse the nodes from position 2 to position 4. So our output is like this in the end: 1 4 3 2 5. And this is example 2 in which head is given as 5, left is equal to 1, right is equal to 1. So in that case there is nothing to change, so we are just going to return the original linked list. Okay, so now without any delay let's write the code first, and then in the end I will try to explain each line of this code. Okay, so now first just write the code. So first we are going to check if the input is null or if left is equal to right. Okay, so in which case there is nothing to reverse, so return the head as it is. Okay, so here write one if condition: if head is equal to null or left is equal to right. Okay, so in that case there is nothing to change. Okay, so now just return head. Okay, so this is step 1. After that we are going to create a dummy node to simplify the edge case handling, okay, and initializing it with a value of -1. Okay, so let's create like this node: dummy is equal to new list node, and we are just initializing it with -1. Okay, now after that connect the dummy node to the head of the list. Okay, so how can we do that? Just dummy dot next is equal to head. Okay, so now after that we are going to initialize a pre-pointer to the dummy node. Okay, so write like this: next node pref is equal to dummy. Okay, now we are going to move the pre-pointer to the node just before the left node. Okay, just before the left node we are going to move the pointer pref. Okay, so for that just run one for loop for int I is equal to 1 and I should be less than left, and increment I. Okay, no, what is this? Remove it. Okay, and here pref is equal to pref dot next. That's it. Okay, now after that we are going to initialize a cur pointer to the left node. Okay, so just write list node cur is equal to pref. Okay, now after that just initialize a next node pointer to null, which will be used to reverse the sublist. Okay, so list node next node is equal to null. So don't worry, in the end I will explain each line of this code. So just now write code like this. Okay, now we are going to reverse the sublist from left to right. So for that write one for loop for int I is equal to left, I is less than equal to right. Okay, I plus plus, and then we are going to store the next node in a temporary variable. Okay, so list node temp is equal to cur dot next, Okay, now we are going to reverse the direction of the current node's next pointer. So for that, write cur dot next is equal to next node. Okay, now move the next node to the current node. After that, so write next node is equal to cur, and then move cur to the next node in the original order, that is cur is equal to temp. Okay, so in the end we just going to move this priv dot next dot next is equal to cur. So here we connect the priv node to the last node of the reverse sublist, and after that we are going to connect the priv node to the first node of the reverse sublist. So for that, write priv dot next is equal to next node. Okay, and in the end just return dummy dot next. So we are going to return the head of the modified list. Okay, so return dummy dot next. Okay, so now let's try to run our code and see if it's working properly or not. Oh, there is one exception here, so what's the reason? Let me check. Okay, list node cur should be priv dot next here. Because we are moving priv to the one point before the left, then cur should be priv dot next. Okay, so now let me try it to run it. Yes. So now our solution is accepted. Both the test cases are passed. Let me try to submit the code, and then I will explain each line of this code. Okay, so yeah, our solution is accepted, and it beats 100% of users with Java. So now let's understand this code with an example here. So we have given the head of a single linked list and two integers left and right, where left is less than or equal to right, and we have to reverse the nodes of the list from position left to position right. So this is a position given here, note the value of nodes. Okay, so note this point, and then we have to return the reversed list. Okay, so here this is the first position, this is second position, this is third position, this is fourth position, and this is fifth position, and we have to reverse this list from position 2 to position 4. So from here to here we have to reverse the list, and then this will be our output 1 4 3 2 5. Okay, so now first we are going to check if head is equal to null. So in that case we are just going to return the head. So if our head is null, then we are going to return null. And also we are checking here if left is equal to right. So in that case we are just going to return the original list. So let's say if this is our left and this is also right. Okay, so in that case we don't need to change anything in the linked list, so we are just going to return the same list. So that's why we are just returning head if this is the condition or if this is the condition. So this is first step. Okay, so now after that we are creating a dummy node which is pointing to -1. So we have created one dummy node. Okay, so let me remove all of this. Okay, so here we have created one dummy node which points to a -1. Okay, so let's say this is our dummy node. Okay, -1, and dummy dot next is equal to head. So dummy dot next is equal to head, which means this thing. Okay, dummy dot next is equal to head means this one. Okay, and then we are going to run one loop for int I is equal to 1. So from 1 till left is less than left. Okay, I plus plus. Then prev is equal to prev dot next. Okay, so here first see this point. List node prev is equal to dummy. So this is prev only. Prev, P R E V. Okay, so list node prev is equal to dummy. Okay, so that means this all prev is equal to dummy. After that, we are going to run one loop for int I is equal to 1, I is less than left. Yes, I is less than left, that is 2. In first case, left is given as 2 here. Okay, so I is equal to 1 less than 2, I plus plus, then prev is equal to prev dot next. Then this is going to be our prev updated one. Okay, prev. Okay, now after that we increment I with 1, so I is 2, 2 is less than 2, no, false condition. So this is going to be our prev. Okay, so this is going to be our prev now. Okay, so let me remove all of this. Okay, so this is our prev. This is our prev as of this step. Okay, so now after that we are pointing cur to prev dot next. So prev dot next means this one, prev dot next, that is cur points to here 2, cur is pointing to 2 now. Okay, so cur is pointing to 2 and next node is equal to null. Okay, so cur is pointing to 2 and next node is equal to null. Okay, note this point. And after that we are going to run for loop. So for int I is equal to left, I is less than equal to right, I plus plus. So left is 2 given and right is 4 given. Okay, so we are going to run for 2 when I is equal to 2, then we are going to run this loop when I is equal to 3, then we are going to run this loop, and when I is equal to 4, then we are going to run this loop. Okay, so first when I is equal to 2, then in the for loop we have defined list node temp is equal to cur dot next. So this is our cur points to 2, so temp becomes cur dot next, so means 3 4 5. So here this becomes our temp. Okay, so first case, so I am writing like this t1. So this is our t1, that is temp1 cur dot next, and then cur dot next is next node. So this is our cur1, so this was our c1. So here what is saying that cur dot next is equal to next node, so c1 dot next is next node. So next node here you can see we have defined it as null, so cur dot next means c1, this next is null. Okay, so I write it like this. So basically we are pointing this c1 dot next is equal to null, then that means that we break this connection. Okay, so this means that we break this connection, and then next node is equal to cur. So now this is our kernel. So now next node I write it like this, n1. Okay, so next node is equal to cur, that is 2 and then 2 points to null. So okay, this is n1, and now we updated cur as temp. So this was temp 3 4 5, so this was t1, that is temp 1. So now our cur becomes this one. Okay, so I write as cur1 of step 1. Okay, 1 means just that this is the first step. Okay, so now after that again we are going to run this for loop. Okay, so now next time our temp is cur dot next. So now this becomes our temp t2. Temp is equal to cur dot next. So this was the c1 from last step. So this next is 4. Okay, so this becomes our t2, and cur dot next is pointing to next node. So from the last step, next node is this one. Okay, 2. So now cur dot next, that is cur dot next means this next is pointing to here 3 2 and null. Okay, cur dot next, that is c1 dot next from last step, is pointed to next node. After that next node is equal to cur. So now this becomes our next node. So I write it like this, n2, and cur becomes temp. Okay, so now this becomes our new cur2. Okay, so now we have completed one loop, second loop. Now we are going to run for third loop. Okay, so here in the last loop, okay, so list node temp is equal to cur dot next. So this was the cur, so now our temp becomes this one, t3 cur dot next, that is c2 dot next. Okay, so this 5 is new temp, and then cur dot next points to next node. So this was the cur, now cur this next points to next node. So from the last step, this was the next node, n2. Okay, so you say now 4 points to 3, and 3 points to 2, and 2 points to null overall. Okay, so now next node becomes cur. So okay, so this was the cur 2 from last step. So now our next node becomes this one. So let me write here, this is n3. Okay, and cur becomes temp. Okay, so now this becomes our cur, new cur 3, and then after that we are not going to run this loop because this is not equal to or less than right. So after that we are going to follow these steps. Okay, so now what it is saying that prev dot next is equal to cur. Okay, so here as you see, firstly we define prev as dummy which points to -1. Okay, and then after that we points prev to prev dot next. So now this is our node. Our node is like this, -1 points to prev, that is this one. This was the prev now in first step that we have defined. Okay, now it is saying that prev dot next, so its next there is some value here, and then again next. Okay, so this next is equal to cur. So cur from last step you see c3, this was the cur from last step, so which is 5. So prev dot next is equal to cur, that means like this. This was the prev. Okay, this was the prev of dummy list that we are creating, list node. Okay, so now prev dot next is equal to cur, so that is 5. Okay, now here prev dot next, what is the value of prev dot next? That is next node. So in the loop this was the n3, 4. Okay, so 4 was the n3, so prev dot next is 4, and then you see here 4 is pointing to 3. Okay, 4 is pointing to 3. Okay, and then you see that 3 is pointing to 2. Okay, 4 3 2. So this is our prev dot next. Okay, so now in the end we are returning dummy dot next. So initially dummy is pointing to -1, so we are pointing dummy dot next, so that means elements from here. So our output is 1 4 3 2 and 5. Okay, so I hope that you are able to understand this code, and if you have any question then please comment, so that I will try to explain in the comments as well. If you like this video then please share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Okay, bye bye.